Hello everyone, welcome back to Study Room. So we now know what are the several organelles of the cell. We know the names, we have been discussing it, and now we'll be talking further about the cell organelles, different types of cell organelles, apart from cell wall, cell membrane, and nucleus. So we have nucleolus. Nucleolus, with the microscope of high magnification, we can actually see smaller spherical body in nucleus. It is called nucleolus. So even inside the nucleus, imagine this is a nucleus, you have a nucleolus. So what is the function of nucleus? Nucleus is the governing light of the cell. Nucleolus have certain procedure in it. For example, DNA replicates into new DNA. It happens in the nucleolus. So nucleolus guides the genetic makeup of our body. So nucleolus and nucleus both are very important for the genetic, to study the genetic material of our body. So it likewise, we have nucleolus, we even have chromosomes. So in nucleus, chromosomes are the thread-like structure called chromosomes. So the thread, you can see here the thread. So in real, we can see chromosomes like this. The thread-like structure here are chromosomes. When we enlarge it, it appears like this. These are called chromatids. The arms are called chromatids. They carry genes. So they carry several genes with it, which helps in the inheritance or transfer of characters from the parents to the offsprings. And chromosomes can also be divided when the when we share the chromosome. We share half of our pair of chromosomes from our mother, from half from our father. So chromosome actually divides. You can actually see the division of chromosomes in it. So these are about chromosomes. Chromosomes carry genes and help in inheritance, and these are thread-like structures. So these 2 points are very important to note. What do you mean by gene? So gene is a unit. Simplest definition is, so gene is a unit of inheritance in living organism. It controls the transfer of a hereditary characters from. So genes is nothing but it carries the information from our parents to us. So it is the flow of information, the genetic information, unit of inheritance. If you acquire eye color, for example, you have eye color of brown and that you acquired from your father. So the gene which governs the eye color is passing down from your father's side to your. Okay. And if your mother have curly hair, you might also have ending up having a curly hair structure. So these are also the result of different combination of genes from our parents which result in different characteristics. And this is what inheritance. Inheritance is passing of character from parents to offsprings. So this is gene. Now we'll be seeing this video. In this video we'll be talking about DNA. So we know genetic information is stored in every cell, and the genetic information is passed from chromosomes, and chromosomes carries this information in the form of DNA. So what is DNA? DNA is made up of nucleotides. Nucleotide is made up of sugar and phosphate molecules, and it is a double helical structure. You can see the double helical structure. So along with nucleotides we have bases. Bases are, for example, we have 4 bases: adenine, guanine, thymine, and cytosine. So what DNA carries is, DNA have genes. Genes carry the genetic coding of our inheritance. So this is what DNA is about. So the point which you have to remember here is, it is a double helical structure which is made up of nucleotides. Nucleotide is made up of sugar plus phosphate and bases, and it carries the genetic information. I hope the DNA part is clear now. And it all happens in the nucleus. So nucleus, now you know why nucleus is important for us, very important for every cell. The entire content of a living cell is called protoplasm. It includes the cytoplasm plus nucleus. So what is the simplest definition of protoplasm is? Protoplasm is the cytoplasm plus nucleus. okay, excluding the plasma membrane. So protoplasm is the mixture of all the living content of the cell. So here is a question: is the structure of the nucleus the same in cells of plants, animals, and bacteria? So you have to think about it. Yes, the structure is same. They have nuclear membrane, they have nuclear envelope, they have nucleolus, and they have DNA, they have RNA, they have everything. So yes, the structure remains the same. Now prokaryotic, we have discussed about these prokaryotic and eukaryotic. So prokaryotic organisms is which have no cell organelles. The nucleus of the bacterial cell is not well organized. So prokaryotics, in the simplest definition, they have no nucleus, no cell organelles. It's the simplest form of organism which evolved on the planet Earth. For example, prokaryotes, for example, bacteria, for example, blue-green algae. So nucleus is not very developed, or it is basically absent. The cells having nuclear material without nuclear membrane are called prokaryotes. So sometimes it is called that the nuclear membrane is absent. Sometimes it is called that the nuclear membrane is absent. Which categories of cells come under the prokaryotic cells? Sometimes the nuclear membrane is absent. Nucleus is not very well organized, or nucleus is basically absent. So these three factors make the prokaryotic organism, and these are the simplest form of organism with no cell organelles. Eukaryotic organisms are the complex mode of organisms. They have everything. They have nucleus, they have cell organelles, they have mitochondria, Golgi apparatus, everything. Now we'll be talking about more cell organelles. We have vacuole. So vacuoles are blank looking structure in the cytoplasm. Vacuole. Large vacuoles are common in so plant cells. So this is the plant cell. You can see a vacuole here. This blue structure is a vacuole. Vacuoles are very large in plants but small in animals. So here is the difference between plants and animal cells. So plants have a bigger vacuole, animals have a smaller vacuoles. Vacuole is nothing but the food storing unit. So I'll write it down: food storing unit, vacuoles. We have plastid. Plastids are basically present in plants. We don't have plastids. Plastids are absent in animals. So plastids are cytoplasm of the leaf cells. So several small colored bodies scattered in the cytoplasm of the leaf cells are plastids. There are different kinds of plastids. Some are chromoplasts, oroplasts, different colors of plastids. So the simplest definition of plastid is, you can see chloroplast. Chloroplast helps plants in the process of photosynthesis with the help of pigment called chlorophyll. So plastids helps in several functions. Chloroplast help in the photosynthesis parts, and they are the colored bodies which is present in the only in the plants, and they give colors to several parts of our plant structure. So now we have animal cell and plant cells. So animal cell, you can see the difference in animals have centrioles, and plants have bigger vacuoles. And then plants have mitochondria, animals have also mitochondria. Rest is almost same, but vacuoles are larger in plants, smaller in animals. Centrioles are only present in animal but absent in plants. Plastid are only present in plants but absent in animals. So now we have a table. So just like here it's mentioned the various plants. Cell membrane is present in plants and in animals. Cell wall is present only in plant, not in animal. Nucleus is present in both. Nuclear membrane is also present in both. Cytoplasm is also present in both. Plastid are only present in plant cell, absent in animal cell. Vacuoles are present in both, but plants have large and animals have small. We can also add ER, mitochondria, Golgi apparatus along with it, and nucleolus. So there are very different categories of our cell organelles present in different organs. Here we come to an end of this chapter. We'll have a revision video and we'll be discussing about these things again in the revision video. So please watch all these videos very carefully, and if you have any doubt, it will be resolved in the revision video. So thank you.